And she quickly fires back. She says, that's really misogynistic. And I was like, ah, fuck. I thought I was being a trans ally. I forgot about it. I'm trying my best here to do the right thing. But she's right. No, she's right. That is misogynistic. It is a misogynistic thought to have, to assume that even the worst dickless guy in the cross-country skiing event would be better than the best woman. But, I mean, cross-country skiing is kind of a joke across the board.
It's true.
It's just cold walking. No one should get a fucking award for that anyways.
I'll say it. Nobody else wants to say it.
She's right. It is misogynistic, and I genuinely don't want to be a misogynist. I don't want to be any kind of prejudice or whatever. I would want to be a good guy. So I had to do some soul searching. I said, well, why do I have thoughts like this, right? Is it something innate in me that makes me bad, or, like most things, is it society's fault, right? And you would be surprised to learn that it's society. It is. It's society. It is society's fault, yeah. Because I blame the education system. I do. I mean that, because I was thinking about this, and this is real. I was thinking about this, and I was thinking back to elementary school, and I remembered that we didn't do women's history, right? Which it doesn't seem that absurd to just throw that out there at face value. But if you think about it, we definitely had other identity-based history units, right? Like we had Native American history, which, to be fair, was mostly, hey, come to school dressed like a Native American. Which probably did more harm than good. I don't know, but that really helped. But we had Black History Month. I remember that. I'm sure you guys did too. You remember that? February roll around, they'd be like, hey, you like peanut butter? Well, have I got news for you, pal? Yeah, the peanut butter. That was them. No, not the grape jelly, the peanut butter. Yeah. The grape jelly was us. They did the peanut butter. I know you would think that it would be the other way, but yeah, it's crazy. It's sort of like the jazz of sandwiches. It's awesome how that kind of worked out. And then, of course, you get to the end of February, be like, did black people invent anything other than peanut butter? And they'd be like, whoa, look at the time. I guess we don't want a revolution here. Might as well close the book now, I guess. But we never did women's history. That was just not one of the units that we did, which is funny to me because I was thinking, like, did they teach us about any women in history? And there was only two names that I could recall. It was Amelia Earhart and Helen Keller, which is very funny that they were planning the curriculum and they were like, hey, we got to do women's history. Who are the most important women of all time? We only got room for two, so they better be good. Okay, here we go. I got one. How about some lady that was so bad at flying, they never found her. Just gone forever without a trace. That is the best girl pilot we ever had, so bon voyage, ladies. We'll put her in there. And we need one more. Oh, I know. How about a little girl that was so disabled, people were like, damn. Oh my God. She's trying to talk to a doorknob. We got to put this in the history book. This is like their Ben Franklin, basically. Severely disabled little girl. Yeah, it was crazy. Anybody else do the thing, too, where your brain, like, confuses Helen Keller and Anne Frank? The thing where they just merge. Like, I have that. It's the same process as, like, fucking those two, Gary Busey and Nick Nolte. My brain's like, that's the same guy. And then Michael Douglas and Martin Sheen. It's like, it's very weird. It's like your brain doing, like, a mini racism. You know, where it just picks two people and like, yeah, look at all these Gary Buseys over here. You know, just fucking the two of them. But yeah, Anne Frank and Helen Keller, that's a weird one, right? Because they have nothing in common, other than they were both like little girls. And one couldn't speak, and the other one wasn't allowed to. I guess that's probably been... I guess it would have been pretty fucking bad if they had Helen Keller in that attic. That would have been a tough job.
Hell yeah.
Just like, I'm trying my best. What do you have up there, a monster? Bring us the monster! Bring the monster down here now! They probably would have just left her there. They're like, yeah, this is worse than anything we could do. To just be trapped in a prison under your face. I think that's probably a fate worse than death. With Helen Keller, too, wasn't it just, it was like her caretaker was the only person that could, like, talk to her, right? Did anyone
Water.
check? Was there any way to check? Because that could have just been like just some. It was just some lady that was like, I can talk to her. I can talk to monsters. I can speak to them. Give me a book deal. I'll speak to the monster for you. I'll let you know when she's in love. The monster's saying she's in love. If that lady was lying, that is the most important woman in history. The greatest con man that ever lived was actually a woman, kids. There was a brave lady that took advantage of a disabled girl and made millions of dollars. That's your Gordon Gekko, basically. I don't know. Those were the kind of jobs we used to have 100 years ago, back when things were cooking.
Oh, shit.
It was all good jobs.
Fuck it, I might as well finish
every job
it.
was being a different type of liar, basically. There's no fun jobs like that anymore. There's only one that's close, which is being the guy at Apple that comes up with the new emojis every update. That is an 1880s liar's job. Because everyone else at Apple has to be a computer programmer. And then there's one guy that gets to show up at every update meeting being like, poof, okay, here's my 10 guys I drew, so wow. Yeah, good job, team. We all worked the same hard as each other on this one. So I'm gonna go to lunch, but yeah, that's a wrap, definitely. But why that job's really good is because, like, I don't know if you pay attention to the new emojis every update, but there's always, like, 90% of them are bullshit, but they always throw in 4 or 5 that are just bait for Fox News. That's it. That's the only reason they're in there. Like, every time it'll be a snowman or a takeout food box or an Indian guy marrying a dog, and then fucking...
What?
Sean Hannity sees it, and he's like, what the fuck is this? Stay away from my dog, Vikram. You know, he loses his fucking mind. Like the last update. You remember the last update? It was the pregnant man emoji that fucking they went crazy. Which they didn't even say it was a pregnant man. It was just a guy doing this. He could have just been full. You don't even know. He could have just eaten too much cum. You don't know that he was pregnant, right? But then Tucker saw it and he's like, it's the end of the world. Want to use your iPhone? Time to get nutted in. It's the future Apple wants. What is going on? Who wants this? Who wants to eat cum to use their phone? I miss that show. It's so funny to watch and imagine like a 95-year-old being like, I have to eat cum now. They've been addicted to Fox News forever. Tucker says I have to eat cum, or grandson won't call us anymore. Yeah, that update was funny too because one of the other like sort of baity emojis they added was, I guess I don't really know the word for it. I guess you would call it the Stephen Hawking style wheelchair, you know? Like not just motorized, but like the fucking command center and the whole deal. And how I know it was bait is because one of the default emojis had like a woman with short cropped windswept hair. So it had this like out of my way, I'm disabled kind of vibe to it. Like, I'm on my way to Girl Boss, the parking spots. And it was funny to me that they put that in there because they already had a regular wheelchair emoji. And I guess that's fine. It's like representation or something. But like, what is the conversation we're making the distinction between those two types of wheelchairs is remotely acceptable via emoji, right? Like, who would you be talking to where they're like, oh, I'm disabled, by the way? You're like, interesting. Are you a regular wheelchair? Or Stephen Hawking wheelchair? You're like, oh, I'm Stephen Hawking wheelchair. You're like, oh, great, we'll have dinner at your place then, I guess. Seems to make the most sense because I don't have the van with the big battery. You guys miss him, by the way? You guys miss Stephen Hawking? Good. I did a show, I asked, and one guy was like, he was a fucking nerd. Coming all aggro about it. Which is very funny, because the guy was right. He was a nerd. But you just don't think about Stephen Hawking on, like, the nerd-jock continuum. Because you'd think he would have escaped that at some point in his life. It's hilarious to imagine a 65-year-old Stephen Hawking leaving a lecture hall at Princeton being like, and that's the way the universe works. Then he goes outside, and there's just a guy in a Letterman jacket that's like, "Ooh, yes. Hey, boys, here comes Wheels. Let's fucking get his ass." He's like, "Please stop. Leave me alone." His hair's gray. Take his computer. Look up gay porn on his computer. Pull up guys fucking on there. Hey, everybody, look what the nerd's looking at on it. Yeah, sometimes women will get mad too. Like, I've had women be like, "Well, he cheated on his wife." And I'm like, "Tell me exactly what happened." Right?
Yeah.
He cheated on his wife. And it's like, everybody knows that too. Which is like, how did that story get out other than his wife telling people? Which that's gotta be what. Can you imagine being one of her friends and you're like, "How's it going?" She's like, "Tough week. Steven cheated on me." And then you have to be like, "Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened." I guess that's tough, definitely. I personally miss him a lot. I didn't at first. He was like one of those celebrities that died and I didn't give a shit, and then I missed him later. Which I guess really the only other example of that is Paul Walker, probably. Yeah. That one hit me, right? Because you remember the headline when Paul Walker died? It said, "Paul Walker dies in fiery car crash." I had the same reaction as every other American. I said, "Yeah, that is ironic. That is a irony." Then
Went out
Fast
like
and
a
Furious
gangster,
6
bro.
Came out, and I cried. And then Stephen Hawking, same thing. I bet they chill. I bet they're friends wherever they wound up. Paul Walker and Stephen Hawking. Paul Walker's like, "Let's see how fast we can get this chair together. Let's see if we can get a 10-second chair out of you, dude." He's just like fucking with the oxygen tank. He's like, "Dude, is this NOS?" He's like,
Stupid.
Stephen Hawking's head's just getting bigger. He's like, "Please stop. You're killing me more. Please stop it." I'll tell you, my favorite thing about Stephen Hawking, the thing I love the most about him is I love that he had glasses. That always tickled me. That was always so funny to me. That Stephen Hawking had glasses? Like, to be that fucked up, and then you're still like, "I think something's wrong with my eyes. I think I better get my eyes checked out before this gets any worse." I think that's... Can you imagine Stephen Hawking just bashing his way into a lens crafters? "Can you help me?" They're like, no. You need like a battery or something. Not a fucking eye exam. I don't know why you think. I tell you what I didn't like, though, is that Stephen Hawking movie. That thing was a bummer. The top to bottom. Even the name, Theory of Everything. That's not the name of his theory, right? It was like they got somebody's cousin from Staten Island to write the whole thing. Somebody was like, "Hey, Tony, give us a Stephen Hawking movie." He's like, "Yeah, no problem. I got your Stephen Hawking movie right here." All right. Yeah. No, so check this out. All right, so he's Stephen Hawking. He's a scientist. This guy's a fucking genius, right? So, yeah, no, he came up with the theory of fucking everything, this guy. Right? So, yeah, he came up with everything. All right, and so here's the movie. He's normal, and then he's retarded. That's it. So... That's it. Give me the Oscar. And that is the movie. I don't know if you've seen the movie. That's the narrative arc of that movie. It starts off, he's walking around. He has his original voice. Did you ever hear his original voice? He was like, "I think I'm going to go to university for math." Did you know he sounded like that?
No.
He had that Mary Poppins voice. I saw that and I was like, wow. So he was retarded the whole time. What an uplifting story about this man who triumphed over odds.
That was decent, I think. It was pretty good. I didn't laugh as hard as I do on their podcast stuff. So I would say his off the cusp style comedy I like better than his kind of written stuff. But it was still decent. Still pretty good. Yeah. All right.